I'm Dr. Alexander Drilon from Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I am a medical oncologist that specializes in lung cancer and the development of new treatments for any cancer using what we call early phase trials or phase 1 or 2 clinical trials. If you're someone who is newly diagnosed with a RET-positive lung cancer, the first question to ask is, what RET gene change do I have in my cancer? That's important because the particular gene change that we're looking for is called a RET fusion. And there may be other gene changes like RET mutations, which do not serve as highly active indicators that something like targeted therapy that hits the RET protein might work. So it's always good to ask to break that down. Do I have a RET fusion that's functional and active? And in most cases, the answer will be yes. The most common types of RET fusions include KIF5B-RET, for example. The second question to ask is, what therapies are available to me, both in terms of standard of care therapies, and by that we mean therapies approved by the FDA or the regulatory body in the country that you live in, and what are the alternative investigational treatments that I may have access to on clinical trials. Very briefly, the approved therapies in countries like the United States include chemotherapy, immune therapy, and targeted therapy. And there are many other investigational therapies also within those same buckets: investigational targeted therapies, investigational immune therapies, and investigational novel chemotherapies that may be available. The next question to ask is, of this menu of possible treatments for my cancer, which are the most appropriate for me at this point in time? And for a RET-positive lung cancer, the standard of care is to start with a RET-targeted therapy. So this is a RET tyrosine kinase inhibitor, or TKI, is the abbreviation, like selpercatinib or pralsetinib, which we know, compared to other therapies like chemotherapy and immune therapy, can achieve much better results if given first relative to those other treatments. Another important part of that question is talking about things like immune therapy, which might work very, very well for non-RET positive lung cancers, or more typical cancers that are diagnosed perhaps in patients with a very strong history of prior smoking or current smoking. We found out, however, that immune therapy, the classic checkpoint inhibitors like pembrolizumab, nivolumab, etc., tend not to work very well for RET-positive lung cancers. And so having that dialogue about, yes, these three major buckets of treatments are available for me, but which ones actually work well and which one should I start with, that's a very critical conversation to have. And the last thing I'll say is always ask how you expect to feel on a treatment that your doctor is going to start. What are the side effects to look out for? And it's good to know that personally, but also to share that with your family so that they're able to monitor these side effects with you and share them with your doctor and your care team.